In this survival week, for some of the known names, the survival's still looking pretty dicey. Welcome to BGMI Master Series Season 3, powered by Garnier Men, where I'm going to be hosting Castronecro, and John alongside with me on the panel will be Shai Shanu once again. And as I mentioned, for some of the known names, the survival's still looking pretty dicey, and one of those names is also Entity.
I mean, that's the whole point about it. Yes, it's been looking a bit more dicey, and again, since you mentioned about Entity, we haven't really seen them on the first page itself in the top 10. They have been struggling a little bit, to be very honest, specifically in closing out those 3v1s or 4v2s, and we've seen this is the team that has basically been scummed to those clutches.
Exactly. The schedule of today stays on the screen. A, B, C, and E will be the first groups to kick things off in the map of Erangel. Then later on, we're going to move on towards the map of Miramar. Once again, classic, nothing really taken out of the way. But Group D is going to be sitting it out in the first game itself. That means Team X-Bar, Godsreen, even OG, and then you've also got Team Timilas not playing in the first game. So maybe they can sit back, relax, and watch and try and experience the intensity of the lobby just from the backseat. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, in the first game of the day, as the plane fly pad pops up on the screen, starting all the way from Severny towards Primors. This time the plane fly path is not going to be identical. Instead, it's quite different from the first one.
As you talk about that difference, the first thing that I probably will see is the sigh of relief from Global Esports, because yeah, they were not able to get that win against the members of Carnival Gaming early on, but this time around, it's right over on top of Severny, so they can take the first early drop as well. But I can also see a couple of additional teams taking that early drop, specifically Godlike as well, since we are talking about it. Maybe they're going to go back towards the Georgia pool if they really want to, if they really like to, but for teams who want to end up in the military base, it's going to be a rough ride.
Godlike moving to a shooting range maybe, or maybe Zarky. I'm not sure what the plan of Godlike Esports is. But Godlike, one thing is for sure, they haven't really found themselves a proper home, right? In the past, they used to drop towards Yasna Poliana, Georgia Pool, or even School. But now Godlike, in the previous game, they dropped in towards Milta Power. So I'm not even sure what's going on in the heads of the players. But I guess it's just Punks pulling off the shenanigans. And Punk does not really want Godlike to be predictable. That's why they're just dropping all across the board. Right now, they've found themselves a bit of that pit stop. And they're just dropping in those individual compounds. I guess Godlike is still on that search for the power play points.
Probably could be possible as well, or maybe they just want to try and hunt down Team Forever this time around, since they are in the top 4. Maybe. And Team Forever always likes to drop around safe in these kind of plane fly paths, so normally they go around the Zarky area. But again, this time around over towards Pochinki is where we're going to see a WSB up against Carpadium, the match made in heaven.
I guess Godlike is actually hunting down the players of Team Forever. Something they learned from the previous game, right? Team Forever dropping in towards Zarky, and Godlike, they know it's their time to claim the bounty. That's why they're moving in with the vehicles towards Zarky. And I don't think so the players of Team Forever, they've got any clue that Godlike is right next to him. But as you mentioned, a drop collision between the players of Carpadium and WSB. For WSB, a chance to claim the bounty. For Carpadium, a chance to maybe take or snatch away that first spot from Vasista Esports, but there's also a drop collision in Yasna Poliana itself. Entity Gaming dropping right on top of the players of Vasista Esports. So for Vasista, it's now time to defend.
Oh, Somraj, my man has a UMP 45 in the hand and then a VSS, which you would really not want to use, but at the same time, yeah, I know you pointed it out, Raiden has been taken off early. Now that's a big blow to the members of Entity, but good thing, Aquanox, Somraj, both of them are alive, who are like the top 2 heavy hitters for the team.
They want to shut him down. Knuckle on the receiving end of things. A decent amount of damage was dished out, but then once again, Entity, they're not able to find that finishing blow, that death blow we talk about. Another fighter ups on the elimination feed as 8-2. They challenge the opponents. And this time, it's going to be Carpadium on the receiving end of things, as Mighty's able to find one of the confirmations, but Carpadium is still looking pretty strong. But 8-Bit, they're constantly hitting back the players. Uzi on that range is not going to work out, especially when you do not even have a sight. And now they need to close on up with that distance. Carpadium, they do toss out the smokes here and there, but look at Revenant Esports in the far fray at the top. Oh. They're here to play the spoiler. They're here to claim all the points. And 8-Bit as well, they will be third party pretty much. And that's what's happening. Sensei from the far fray is taking the shots, and Sensei is able to find Fierce. But 8-Bit, they are trying their best to back away from this entire fight. But Mighty is way too low, and the Wall of Death is dealing that constant damage. This nade from Sif should be the final finishing blow.
Aditya should be taken down, and yes, all the players now will be moving out of this lobby. Beautiful play, beautiful confirmation. And guess what? It's Haiku Soul still on the receiving end. Aquanox out there in the compound. You've still got a couple of players out down just that ridge. Ronnie needs to survive whatsoever, and the blue is constantly dealing the damage as well. Sends out another nade, but they will be able to survive. Troy is back on his feet. So it's going to be the entirety of Entity now running on to the members of Haiku Soul. Molly on the outside confirming there's absolutely no one. Just need to land a nade on the inside. Or maybe just move in and use that shotgun.
They want to play for the win. As I mentioned, Punk now needs to come up with a complete master plan, and that's what he's trying to come up with. But Punk, this might just be a disaster. He's between two other teams. And Raven Esports, they might just be in the receiving end of things. Godlike, they're driving around as Admino finds the opener. The second man is right there in the front lines, but Godlike, they cannot end up exposing themselves too much. There's also Aquanox from the back lines of Entity Gaming, which will try to take the advantage of these two teams fighting. Godlike, they are in the man advantage. Admino's knocked out, so that's a neutralizer that Raven Esports needed. But Reaper is now way too low, and he's constantly getting dealt with. Finally patches himself up. Reaper is back once again in the action. But Raven Esports, they have proved themselves time and time again in these type of fights. But Godlike, they have defeated them once in the past. Raven Esports here to redeem themselves. And what a beautiful nade that was. Gets the re-knock onto Admino. And now Punk is there in the back lines once again. It's a 3v3 as even Punk gets strike down. This is where the players of Raven Esports, they get the major advantage.
Spreading them out perfectly. And they're making sure that they bombard the members of Godlike. Punk should eventually be taken down, but the smoke wall is the only thing that's helping them survive. That's cutting off the vision of the members of Raven. But on the other side of the spectrum, it's One Blade as well, just in the vicinity, ready to pounce upon in this engagement, ready to take that third-party advantage onto those sides.
There's One Blade. There was also Entity a while ago. So yeah, there's too many teams just looking forward to take the advantage of this fight, because they know if they do end up neutralizing the threat on this side of the map, then the backlines will be cleared up. And that's why Godlike right now are being dealt with, not just by Raven, but also One Blade from the back. And Raven Esports are being helped by the players of One Blade unintentionally, but Aim God is now starting to deal a lot of damage against Surkar. Even One Blade, they start to close on up towards this compound. Godlike slowly and steadily back in the action as they're getting the revival done. And what a great shot that was from Admino. Even though he does not really have a lot of HP, he still moves up against the foe and he strikes him down. And One Blade, they do not see this coming. Sarkar and KSR, the last two remaining players from One Blade. And what just happened? One Blade, they were here as third parties, but now they're the one to get dealt with. And One Blade slowly and steadily dropping down on the man number as even Sarkar and KSR, they're down. Reaper Esports, or Reaper, he's the man in the front lines. As Raven, they're the one with the advantage.
You could really call him the Reaper Esports at this point, because this man has been fragging out of his mind, and look at the smartness. They know that the blue is gonna hit. It's better to directly jump into the circle itself and try to gatekeep these teams who want to run out of the harm's way. Only one member remaining for the side of Godlike. It's gonna be a big blow. But Aquanox as well has been found out. Raven's gonna be claiming his finish too. So it's only Troy now for Entity, who will eventually try to play for the mid strat.
Not just that, Godlike's Admino still alive. He was shrouded inside of that smoke. He can still be the main spoiler. Aquanox is knocked out for now, but Raven Esports, this 3-man remaining, is doing a lot of the damage to the lobby. Global Esports as well, slowly and steadily starting to lose the grip in the fight. Beast is way too low. One single nade and even Beast can be taken down, but look at CG making sure that the players of Global Esports will pay the price of pushing up against them. And now it's all down to Slug, and the man's taking way too much damage from the blue. They know exactly where Slug's positioned too, outside of the blue, and they're looking forward to blow this vehicle up as well. Slug, this man has still got the cover. He strikes down the first, but that's all he's gonna find.
Beautiful trade coming in from Goblin as well, making sure that his team is going to survive. Carnival Gaming were being pounced upon from two different directions, one by Global Esports and second by Mogo. They managed to stop Mogo in their tracks, and our Team Forever as well has joined into the action to try and claim in some picks. Mogo on the other side trying to take those long-range fights.
I mean, look at the zone. It's in no man's land. It's out in the open. All the other teams are playing from the outskirts, from the edges. And now Carnival Gaming, it's time to shift your focus on Team Forever. I like the multitasking from the side of CG, right? Instantly getting rid of the players of Global Esports. And now they're doing the same thing against the players of Team Forever. And within a flash, even Team Forever, they take an exit from the game.
Carnival Gaming, some important finishes coming out here. And we've got to check, maybe they've claimed the bounty as well. But on the other side, Mogo up against the members of Raven. A few trades going back and forth, but the advantage should be in the hands of Mogo. Raven, entirety of the team has also been taken down as well. Beautiful play coming in from their side, and it was Troy with the spoiling third party out here. And will eventually come to the play zone as well. Hector, oh my god, what a shot from this man!
Delta PG knocked out. Mogo Esports. This is a really good chance for them to conquer the battlegrounds and get the victory in the hands. And Robin right now, he fights the striker. First man's taken down instantly. And what do we see? CG choking up the fight slowly and steadily, but even Mogo Esports is taken down to the last glimmer of hope. And that dude's going to be Justin. Look at CG. Even they're down to just this one last man. It's the top two teams. And S-Power's going for the revival on the fallen player. Robin should give the marker to the last remaining man of Mogo Esports. But where is the marker? Hector's way too far away for CG. Oh no, they found the revival. And now it's 3 players from the side of CG against that one single man of Mogo Esports. What can he do?
Maybe just fire a few shots, that's about it. Justin's got to turn a madman right now. But I really hope for the marker to be there. I mean, that would have been such an open spam in the open territory.
Oh, Justin needs to move inside of the zone. He's got all the pressure upon himself. And also a 1v3 to be converted.
It's Carnival.
Victory. Carnival Gaming, there we go. It's time to strike now. Justin, the man's now starting to get surrounded by all sorts of players. And yeah, eventually he will be dealt with. Carnival Gaming, they played this game super slow. And in the end, it also paid off. Patience paid off for the side of Carnival as they get the win in the first game of the day. Before teams like Mogo Esports, they came ever so close. Even Global Esports, they could have been the one to come out on top. But CG, the beautifully placed utilities, made sure that Global Esports won't have a winning chance anymore. But Entity Gaming, even they went away with a lot of those points in their hands. And for these type of moments, Entity, they will find themselves in a really good spot.
It seems it's about time, Necro.
Yeah, time to move on to the second and the last game of the day as the map of Miramar rolls up on the screen and as the big bird's gonna hit the sky once again, starting all the way from truck stop towards El Pozo. This plane fly path is tilted up north. If you do want to move down south towards Las Leonas, Puerto Paraiso, even Impala, it will be a tough stretch.
So you're basically saying God, like, gonna be slowed down a little bit, right?
I mean, right now, Punk, it feels like this man hasn't really found himself that suitable and that comfortable home just yet. Punk is just all across the map. He does not care where his team's dropping. He's just taking them to a random spot, and still Godlike is able to find a decent amount of points, so whatever works, whatever rocks your boat, man.
I guess so. Mogo again going in for their same default drop. There's gonna be absolutely no problem out there. I really want to see how Revenant's going to be going to perform in this one, because it is crucial, a crucial game for them, which we've been talking about. We've been saying it time after time again. This is a team that does not really go on to that explosive end, but rather always relies on their consistency, and they're struggling to find that. 8-Bit on the other side is a team that really likes to be explosive. In some of the situations, we see this team grabbing all those 10, 12, 15, 18 points early on. And if that's not happening, they also eventually try to play in for that late a little bit sometimes.
Look at that spread from Global Esports. Hacienda del Patron, San Martin covered. You've got God's Ring dropping in towards San Martin. Where's Team X-Spark? That's my question. Last time we did see a drop collision between the players of God's Ring and Team X-Spark, but this time we're not seeing the same thing repeat itself. So that's something that's catching me off guard. You've also got OG dropping in towards the outskirts of the map. Not exactly outskirts, but in the off cities, if you'd like to say. And what am I watching? It's Slice and Dice competition. Fruit Ninja. As Fox bleeds to his
Lovely.
death, Mac delivers the final shot to the skull. And just like that, the entirety of Team Timulas, they come crashing down.
But does it matter right now for 8-Bit is going to be the big question. They've got 8 points, but it seems they are being hunted right now as well. As another team joins into the action, and Ninja Boy is sent back to the village of Konoha. No place for you in the lands of Miramar, says Mac.
Oh my god, 8-Bit.
My god.
Yeah, Global Esports. What is going on? They came in for the third party with the advantage in the fight, but still, Global Esports, slowly and steadily, they're losing the grip on this entire area. Beast is now in the outskirts. He's got a little bit of that high ground to play with. 8-Bit, they've made sure that the ground underneath the players of Global Esports will be taken away, will be snatched away. The nades are now doing a lot of that brutal damage against them, but Team 8-Bit, it's completely fine considering they've still got the man advantage. And now Revenant Esports from the back, even they start a hit up. It's the fourth party of Revenants. And Revenant Esports, they've already striked down the players of Global Esports. Another 2 players decapitated.
They're trying to steal away all those picks as well, but hold on a second, hold your horses. It seems that Team Z as well as Mogo, they want to join into a bit of the action too. But Revenant, seems like they've decided to play it safe. They found a couple of open flushes. They'll be moving off. They've done their damage and don't want to overstay their welcome.
Oh, even Mogo Esports is on their way. They've heard all that commotion.
Told you.
Mogo want to be a part of this action too. 8-Bit still inside of the house looking comfy as ever before.
They try and search for a few people left, right and center. They need a few points to try and climb up in those ranking boards. They're all the way down to almost the last 4 positions.
Yeah. Next zone's going to be crucial. It will be dictating the pace of the game as well. And it shifts down south. All the teams up north are now majorly screwed. God's Reen will try to make their way instantly inside of the zone. CG can probably try and make sure that they're setting a death trap against God's Reen. But even Team X-Spark, they will need to start to come up with some master plans as well to try and rotate inside of the zone flawlessly. Before some of the teams that have already made it inside the zone a really good spot, they can be the one to dictate the space. But you talk about Revenant Esports engaging in a fight themselves. And for the opponents, it's not looking too good. Yeah, Blaze is being lost out from the side of Revenant Esports for now. But what am I watching from Team Z? Addy knocks himself out with that leap that he took. And Revenant Esports, they're being put in the advantage once again. Sensei, OG, and Seth, the last 2 remaining players from the side of Revenant Esports, they're still able to squeeze away a few points here and there. And now Team Z taken down to a 2-man squad as well. But Seth, he messes up majorly. And he gives the opponent a striking advantage once again as Kylo steps up. But then Sensei, he's trying his best to fight back. And now it's a one-on-one between Kylo and Sensei. Revenant versus TZ. As Kylo, he exposes himself a little bit, but then a third party from Mogo Esports, it wipes out the existence of Revenant Esports.
My, oh my. Fights happening left, right and center. And it's Hector still trying to fire in a few bursts to claim that one more player out there. But TZ, they messed up a lot. WSB, they really can't mess up against Raven. And that Vector is insane if it's in the hands of Reaper. Man, it's just not stopping whatsoever in every single fight. It's just the last 2 players remaining. But they're still standing strong against the members of WSB.
I mean, yeah, he's ripping things apart, and now it's just down to Trigger. A 1-on-2 around this compound. And yeah, not for long. As Trigger blows himself up. What just happened?
Overcooked.
Overcooked, or was it intentional? I don't think so that was intentional, right? Because, yeah, I guess Trigger just messed up straight up. OG still on top with the 3-man squad. As I mentioned, OG, they have been aiming for the win this whole time. And if OG's still not able to win the game, then that's really unfortunate. Because they just have one single finish point in the hand. Mogo Esports with the lower ground, they're clearly in a big disadvantage considering even from the back, it's Team X-Spark. And there we go, Spray God. Oh, this man is doing so much damage. Not just against Mogo, that too against OG.
Both the teams in his own crosshair, and that's why I mentioned the Team X-Spark, they've got a prime positioning right now. Mogo should have gone in for those finishes, but X-Spark now has got the perfect opportunity to try and pounce on all of those targets. It's an open grounds in front of you, open fields as well. Yes, a few ridges to work around with, but I don't think that's enough. And this is what I was worried about for Mogo. They're currently a pincered. There's a bread among the different slices of butter right now. They'll be taken down so very quickly.
They indeed will be.
But OG, they've decided to back off from that one. They want to quickly run away inside the circle. But oh my goodness, look at the ideas. Ravens, couple of members as well. They find the targets as well. Aru Knight now has got the DBS in his own hands.
OG, hold on.
Nades.
Up against the players of Raven Esports, and Aim God's nade might just be the game winner, but no. Instead, he misses the mark. Aru gets the advantage in the fight already. The man should have just disengaged. He should have just fell back instantly as soon as he caught the first bullet. Aru has been a man who's been on a mission recently, and you cannot face off against him in a one-on-one properly. Raven Esports down to just Aim God. And even Aim God, you cannot underestimate this player at all. Aim God has been proven glorious for this entire lineup time and time in the past. And now as the wall of death moves up as well, Aru needs to give up onto Atanki. The snake's being tossed to perfection. Aru's position is compromised. It's a shotgun battle, and it will be Aru to connect that crucial shot.
But it seems he needs to hit on that first hit right now because in front of him is just the open grounds. Raven's been taken down, but on the other side, Team Xpug still got a lot of their players surviving out in the open too. You've got God's Rain to work around with. That's going to be even more difficult for you. Mogo as well, all the way down south. God's Rain up against the Spy Spray God with a perfect spray down. Will be able to take the life of Venom out of his body.
Spray God's an absolute god in these moments. Team X-Park, Sarang, and Spray God in the back lines as Shadow 7 was knocked out a while ago. But then God's Rain, they're also getting shot at from the sidelines. It's Mogo Esports now knocking on the door with the third party. And oh no, for Team X-Park, it's an unintentional help that just arrived, but now Mogo Esports, they might just be in the biggest advantage. They might just be looking forward to clinch this win. It's Sarang who spots out one of the players in the open. But keep this thing in mind, Aru is still alive in the backlines, and even he can't be the main spoiler. Mogo Esports is just in. He's not that in a big of an advantage, but Sarang, prones in the open. Still has a bit of a reach. That's going to help him in the entire fight. But Mogo Esports with the man advantage, and this is where Aru and the opponent in the front, which is going to be Sarang, they need to somehow work in tandem. They need to somehow work together. But instead, Sarang is looking forward to eliminate Aru.
Sarang's position has been noted. That nade definitely did a bit of that chip damage, but Aru, he really wants to just claim that one life as well, right?
Oh, with that burst, Sarang gives his position away. He reveals his spot. And now Justin, he might just find the marker that was needed. A bit of that chip damage is there from the nade, and yeah, eventually even he's dealt with. Aru with the advantage in this fight. His position's known. He's also got a decent bit of reach to play with. I thought he could at least get away with one, but no. Mogo Esports, they came in out of nowhere and directly snatched the victory.
And this time it was Robin leading the team. I really thought that maybe they made that one mistake by not picking the fight against the members of Xpug, but it was absolutely fine. They still managed to claim that first spot, and that is what is important for you.
First game they were there playing, but Carpedium did not really find that proper conversion. The second game, Carpedium was not playing, but at least in the overall standing, still Carpedium is there in the top 4. Entity still there on the 4th spot. Vasista Esports is crowned. Their throne's been snatched away by Raven Esports.
A game that did not help them a lot is definitely the one that's basically helped Raven on the other side, because they constantly acquired a few of the finishes in the power plays with some consistent placement points as well. They've got 23 right now in their hands.
But Raven, they've played one extra game, so keep that thing in mind.
True.
Carpedium, they've just played 6 games so far. Entity, they've just played 5 matches.